mixer in a minute. Okay, we got to get everything out. A little sugar, flour, yeast, which I keep in the fridge. Now, I should have checked to make sure I had oil. So let me, first thing I'm gonna do is prepare my yeast. Okay, so I need some hot water. Not too hot, but hot. Okay. I want it to be not too hot. You don't want it over 110 degrees. And the reason I need the warm water is because I have active dry yeast. And the word, it used to trick me up as well, right? Because there's dry yeast, instant dry yeast, bread yeast, and most of these things are the same. But if it say active dry yeast, you would assume that it's already active and ready to go. So you would assume that it's also instant yeast, but it's not. So the word active means you need to activate it. Okay, because I used to be confused for a while. Like I would be like, oh my God, like, do I need? So you have to activate it because this yeast is surrounded by dead yeast cells. And when you activate it, those fall off, and the ones that are wrapped up in the dead, they come alive. And so we're going to see that. So I'm going to use some active dry yeast. Let's see. I want to get a different cup. Okay, because I want to change that because that's a cup. And I need 2 cups. I need 2.5 cups of water. So when I make pizza dough, I'll make a lot of pizza dough, but I also end up making a lot of pizza. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I need 2.5 cups of water. Okay, let's see what we have here. When you measure liquids, y'all, you measure with it sitting flat on something. And I have a measuring cup where I can look in there. So I'm only at like 2 3/4. Now I'm at 2.5, and I can look in there without ducking. And it's exactly at 2.5. And the reason I need 2.5 cups of water is because of all the, okay? So I need 3 teaspoons of yeast. So there's teaspoons and there's tablespoons. Think of table as large, so that's the large one. Tea is the small one, okay? So I have the small one here, and I need 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Okay. And in order to get that activated, it needs something to feed on. So I'm going to put a little sugar. I'm just going to take a little bit of sugar, sprinkle it in there. That's all. And then I'm going to take my a spoon or something. And I'm just going to just kind of mix it up. Nothing too great, nothing too fabulous. Okay, and we're going to give that about 7 minutes. But do you have to give it 7 minutes? You do not. If you start seeing it form up, bubble up, then you know it's alive. And that's what we are trying to do. Wake it up. We're trying to wake it up. And as you can see, it's already forming, okay? Which, you should be able to see that foam, okay? But you're going to really see it form. Now, there's dead, I've had dead yeast before. That's why you activate it. Even if I had instant yeast, I would still activate my yeast. It's just, it's called blooming the yeast, just to make sure that it is good. Because it can die. It's an active live organism. Don't ask me what's the name of the organism. I don't know. But it can die. Okay, so since people don't use it a lot, it can die. It could die. And you can have it for a very long time. I haven't had this that long. I bake a lot. Breads, pizza dough especially. I have another one here. They're the same. I don't think they are the same. I think I ended up putting something in here that was in a big bag that I had. I ended up putting it in a jar so I could keep it in the fridge or the freezer. Okay. But even if I get instant yeast, I always bloom it, which means I activate it. Okay. Now, I have my own pizza recipe. So we're going to get the crack-a-lacking, baby. We're going to get the crack-a-lacking. Okay, let me get my measurements here. I got my cup. Now, I'm going to use 6 cups of flour. Okay. I'm going to put this to the side. I have a pizza in the oven already, by the way. Okay. I'm going to show y'all how to do this. Okay. Am I a professional? I'm not a pro, okay? I never worked anywhere making pizzas. Okay. You shake it. And if it's as level, you consider that level, that's 1 cup. Okay, you don't have to be all technical. Now, if I was baking a cake, I would be a little more meticulous with my measuring. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you see that? If I shake it, okay, and I'll grab a little more just to say that all of them wasn't at the top, so I put a little more in there. Okay, then we're gonna move this to the side and put the top back on it. Let me grab the vegetable. Let me see where's my salt. Okay. 2 teaspoons of salt will work for this amount. Okay, I use this pink salt, as y'all can see, but you can use any salt. Okay, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons. I'm gonna open it up so I can grab my teaspoons. 1 and 2. Now 2 teaspoons would be a lot of salt. That's a lot of salt. But for 6 cups of flour, that's not a lot. Okay? I'm gonna find my whisk really quick. Rinse it off just a little bit, you know. It's always just rinse. And we're gonna kind of mix that up. Okay. Ooh, I should have. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. What? Okay, so I need some vegetable oil, but I do have some greens. I do have some olive oil. Let me see where I put it. Okay, yes. Grab it if I can grab it. Okay. Whew. Wait, let me see if I have vegetable oil first. Because, you know, I don't like using my extra virgin olive oil on the pizza. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Give me a second. I have to look in this oven. Remember, I told you I have a pizza in the oven. I got to take it out because it's ready. I'll show it to y'all in a second. Okay. Whew. It smells good. Yes, it does. It smells good, baby. I'm gonna let that cool off. But if y'all want to see, okay. So I made this pizza maybe like almost a month ago. Okay, I made the pizza dough, and then I put the pizzas together, pre-boiled the dough. Then I put the toppings on it, and then I wrapped it up and put it in the freezer. So since it was pre-boiled, which means I cooked it for a short amount of time, that all I had to do was put it in the oven for about 12 minutes. Let me show you the bottom of it really quickly, if I can. Hold up, I gotta find a spatula. I know one of the spatulas is right there under the. Hold up. I have to look at dishwasher. Yes, I do. Dishwasher ran already, so I just need to rinse that. Make sure no soap is on it. Dry it off. Just to show y'all the underside of the pizza. Make sure y'all can see it because it's cooked. You see? Looks good. Okay? That's when I first started making pizzas. That's the thing I was concerned about when I make this type of pizza, was the bottom being done. So that's why I pre-boiled them. Okay? Otherwise, it would have to be in there for about 20 minutes, and then it gets real dark at the top. And I don't really like it that dark at the top. Okay? Anyway, this is the best dough ever. Okay? You're never gonna you will never want to buy pizza dough ever again. Okay? I need 1/4 cup of oil. Okay, I'm gonna use this extra virgin oil, and I hope I don't have to teach y'all how to do measurements. Okay, so but just in case, I hope I don't. But just in case, let's go here. Okay, 1/4 cup. The markings are already here. Okay, it's not. Don't use butter, not in your pizza dough, because the butter will burn at a certain temperature. You need an oil. Okay, now if you want a buttery tasting dough, you put that on after the fact. You know, when you're baking it. Or I would essentially put it on, slab of butter on the afterwards. Okay. Usually I mix that with the water and the yeast, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So I did the salt, the yeast, the vegetable oil, and I need the sugar, and we're gonna get it crack-a-lacking. Okay. Now this is where you could play around with your dough. You can have a sweeter dough, and you can have less of a sweet dough. You don't have to use sugar. You could use honey if you want it to be a little more. I need 1/4 of a cup. Let me see it on there. Is this it? No, it's too big to be 1/4 of a cup. Oh, somebody took. Okay, so it may have been me, but I was gonna blame somebody in the house. Okay, I need 1/4 cup of sugar. Rinse that off. Now I sometimes use more sugar, sometimes I use less, and to be honest, yeah, I like them both. Okay, it depends on who I'm making it for. Like, hubby is a diabetic, so that's why 1/4 of a cup is perfect. Okay, but if I wasn't really making it for him as well, I would use a little more sugar. Okay, and here is the yeast. Y'all can see how foamy it is. Yeah. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna put that in there yet. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I could make this by hand, kneading it, but I'm not. I'm gonna use my stand mixer. Grab that. Okay, I have to move a few things. Let's move all of this out the way. So, did I use everything? I used the flour. I used the sugar. Let me put that where it goes. I put the salt in. I mixed that up because salt can kill yeast. So you don't usually put the yeast on top of the salt. Okay, so you mix it up. That's why I put the salt in here. Let's see. and the oil. And those are the basic things. And this is the yeast and the water, okay? Now, I'm going to move that out the way so I can put my stand mix up here. Okay. Uh-oh. I don't see my hook. It's usually inside the bowl. I do not have a fancy stand mixer. I purchased this mixer years ago, probably about 10 years ago now, from Walmart. As you can see, the Walmart brand is there, Fiberware. And I'm gonna tell you, it's great. Let me find my hook, my dough hook. Okay. It came with the dough hook, the whisk. It came with 3 hooks. Came with the dough hook. This is the dough hook. It came with the whisk and the scapular. I think that's what it's called. And it also came with a top for the bowl. Okay. Now the only thing I don't like about this is that it didn't in the front. So if you buy one that's a little more expensive, when I say a little more, I mean a whole lot. I'm talking about like a lot more expensive. I paid $89 for this. Okay, $89. And you know, if you go buy the name brands that's out there, they cost anywhere from $600 to $1,000. Okay, especially when you start buying those different pieces, they don't always give you all the hooks and things like that. So what I'm gonna do, that's the hook, that's the dough hook, and I'm gonna put the flour in, but I'm putting it in little by little. The reason why, because I do want it to be well incorporated. So what I'm gonna do, you're gonna see me put my mixture that I've already created. I'm gonna put it in here. We'll put half, or a little bit of half, 2 cups. I put 2 cups, and I'm gonna put a little of the yeast in there. Okay, and we're gonna let that do its thing. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a closer look in a few minutes. Okay, let's see if I can make this taller. Have it on 2, put it on 3. Okay, so that's a good mixture. See it? And now we're gonna put some more in. I'm not gonna put any liquids in it yet. I'm gonna put it down. Good mix. So the reason I'm doing this is so the flour won't spin and come out, because I don't have, even though it came with a top, I don't know what a top is. Okay, I haven't seen it because I tried to use it once. It wasn't all it made out to be. Okay, so it just got in my way, so it's probably somewhere high. Okay, so I'm kind of putting it all in there now. Trying to get all of it. It's kind of hard in this. Okay, there we go. The little bit that's left in there, which is very tiny, as y'all can see, I'm gonna use that if I need it. I'll put it in, and possibly won't need it right now. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. I'm gonna add the liquids to it. Now the thing about flour is something else, okay? Because depending on your altitude, the weather, where you are, you never know if you actually have the amount of flour you think you have. Okay, because the way flour swells and things like that, right? The way it absorbs moisture. So the best way is to do it by weight. And that's why if I was baking a cake, I wouldn't have measured it the way I did. I would be a little more exact. Either by measuring it or weighing it. Okay. I just want to get most of this all wet, but not too wet. Okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. It's kind of noisy. I know. It's a little noisy. It is noisy. Okay. I have it on a slippery surface, so it's moving. Hobby about this piece of dough is the timing, not the timing in making it, right? Because I could put that on, leave that on for about 5 to 10 minutes, and depending on a few things. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it away. I'm going to put something over it, put it in a dark spot, and just let it rise. Upwards 24 hours, right? The longer you leave it, the better it tastes. Now, I'm not going to do that with this piece of dough, though, right? We're going to do this in an hour, because you need to at least give it an hour minimum. I wouldn't go less than an hour on letting it rise, okay? You want it to double in size for about an hour. The longer, though, the better, because it ferments, right? Fermentation. Actually, by the time I usually use my dough, it smells like beer. And I make wine and things like that. So it has this smell like alcohol, because that's called fermentation. And the taste is so absolutely good. You buy pizza from Walmart, right? The expensive ones, and that tastes better than those cheap ones, right? The ones that cost like $1. They used to cost $1. I don't know how much they cost. I haven't purchased pizza from anybody in so long. It's ridiculous. I remember when I bought it for my kids, though. You could buy a pizza for $1 and put it in the oven, boom, boom, and give it to them, right? They didn't really never have no taste. That wasn't no real pepperoni on top. That I don't even think that was real cheese, because the cheese didn't really melt. Okay, and but that has no taste. So when you get to, I forget the name. It start with a D, I think. When you buy those pieces, people be like, "Oh, I like this better." All they're giving you is a thicker piece, but at least the dough is better than those other ones, right? But it's nowhere near anything that you make yourself. I promise you, if you make it, it's so simple, right? You saw how quick it was for me to put that in there. Now, I could show you how to knead it if you don't have a stand mixer. I could show you how to do that as well. You're going to use some elbow, okay? You're going to use some elbow and knead it. You're just going to turn it on itself. Keep turning it on itself until it gets springy, well mixed up. And then you're going to put it in a bowl with some oil and put something on top of it and put it to the side for upwards 24 hours. I've even had mine go for almost 2 days. Now, it didn't get any better, but yeah, I don't recommend going 48 hours, okay? Because what happened at the top layer dries out. Okay, so I don't recommend it. But anyway, let's let this, I'm going to show y'all what it looks like when it gets to where it needs to be. Okay? I could take this off of this thing. I'm going to show y'all what it's doing. I'm going to show y'all what it's doing. It's because I put it on top of this. Look what it's doing. It's moving. it's magic, baby. It's magic. We're gonna take it off of that. Ooh, Lordy. Okay, I be done went upstairs and come back and my mixer is on the ground. It's on the ground. Okay. It's walking this way on the, I didn't stick it there. Now y'all see how the bowl is clean on the sides, how it is grabbing it from the sides. That's when it's kind of well incorporated. But I need to get down to the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this up and see how stretchy it is. That's what you want, okay? It's not there yet. It won't be there until I give it an hour. Let me wash my hands real quick because I did touch some things, because I do have to touch that. Yeah, but that's, you want to kind of get that like that, okay? I need my scraper or spatula, something to get underneath, because to me this dough, and it has been, you know, I'm on the East Coast. We had to deal with the weather because there's a hurricane that was out there close by. And, that pulled that right off. So it's sticky. So there's a quicker way of doing a dough as well, where you don't have to, like, you don't really have to mix it. You mix it as much as you can, a little bit, and then you put it away. Because what's going to happen, the yeast is going to start doing its job. Okay, that's why you don't have to knead things. People be like, oh, you got to knead the bread. No, you do not. You know, okay? You don't have to knead the bread. Kneading the bread, what does that do? You just want to make sure it's well incorporated. That's what you want to make sure. What that is? Is that something on there? Am I tripping? I am. I'm not tripping. Hold up. Am I tripping? Hold up. I get that. It's sticky. I see something look like a piece of string or something. Oh my goodness. It's like a little piece of string. Actually, it looked like my goddamn. It looked like my hair. It looked like a long string of my hair that's twisted around this thing. That is crazy. Is that? I don't know why. It looked like I'm tripping, but that's what that was. Now we know why you should wear hair nets. Because especially if you have long hair, huh? Yes, okay. Uh-oh. It's sticky. And usually my dough isn't this sticky. But sticky is okay. Okay? But this dough usually isn't a sticky dough. Okay? And so by being so sticky, it tells me a few things. And one of the things it's telling me is that it, like I said, with the flour, even though I measured it out, was it an exact amount? Of course not. That doesn't really matter. But it's nowhere near what it should be. And I can tell by just looking at the dough. So what I'm going to do is first, this little bit that's in here, I'm going to put that in and see if that makes it better. This is nothing but, this is like a tablespoon. There's not even a tablespoon of flour left in this thing. I'm gonna put that in there, and I might have to add, okay. And you see how it's stretching when it turns? That's what you want. That's called gluten. Gluten is forming. That's why you don't over mix your pancakes or your cake mixes, right? Because it's the same flour to make those things. If you keep mixing it, you make those things tough. And those things are supposed to be delicate. This, on the other hand, is supposed to be tough, okay? Put a little more flour. Okay, I'm gonna put a tiny little more flour in there. I have a, what this is, a third of a cup. I'm not even gonna use a third of a cup. I'm gonna use a fourth of a cup. See how I didn't fill that up? This is a third cup. I'm gonna sprinkle some, just a little bit in. And we're gonna see what that does. See how that changed? You see how that ball changed? That's what we're looking for. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. See, I only had to use a little bit of that. See, it's right there. Okay, because I'm y'all watching, I'm gonna quickly, I'm not even gonna let it complete this way. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all. Okay, so if it's sticky, which is not that bad, it's not that sticky. Okay, we just want to get all that from there. But it, let's say it was, I'm gonna show y'all how to clean up dough with flour. So I'll put my fingers in some flour. I'll put this little flour that's in this bowl. These little crumbs in there. I can just grab some, put it on my fingers, or on my hands. Not really enough in here to do this, but the flour is what cleans the stickiness away, okay? Gets it off. I do need to get some flour though. I put it back. Let me grab some. What did I do with the measuring? There we go. I'm gonna grab a little bit because I'm gonna need it. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little dough, a little flour on my fingers, and then we're gonna kind of grab that off. I'm gonna take that off of there in a minute, and I'm gonna lay it on the counter and show y'all. I'm gonna need it a little bit just to show y'all what y'all would do if you didn't have a mixer. Okay, so give me a second. Let me clean this off really quickly and move that out the way. Let me call hubby. Hey, Mark. Mark. I called you. The pizza done, man. Oh, you sleep? Okay. Okay, let him sleep. Hubby fell asleep waiting for the pizza, which is crazy because he just went up there right before I went live. I've only been live 30 minutes. Okay, let me move this out the way. The oven is hot, y'all. It's at 475. Okay, that's really hot. On top of the stove as well. Let me kind of wipe this down. And I'll use this. I'm gonna put a little flour down, just a little tiny bit. Alright. Okay, because we don't want the pizza dough sticking to the mat. And then we're gonna pour this out. Okay. Let me put some flour on my hands. Okay, so I can dig in there and grab that out of there. My scraper is probably in the drawer over there. Let me grab that. Now my hand's a little sticky. One scraper. Okay, I see it. Let me rinse that off. Get a paper towel. We don't want the wet water. Okay. That's my scraper, but I don't think my scraper could really get in there like that. Let me use this. Okay, if it doesn't come off, let's put some flour on you. On the back side too. Put some flour on it and then get that out of here. Right? Uh-oh, that thing likes to come off. What the? Wait a minute. Let me move you out the way. What is that? Yo. Okay. Whew. Okay, y'all. Can y'all? I gotta get that on the mat. Okay. I don't think y'all can see. Can y'all see? Okay. Okay, so here's the dough. It's supple, still a little sticky, but I'm about to take care of that. Okay. I'm about to take care of that by sprinkling it just a little bit with flour, but not too much. Okay. And then I'm gonna flip you as soon as we want to make sure you don't see how sticky it is. Okay, we're gonna put a little flour on you. Really on the mat. I thought I did put some on the mat. I did. Okay. There we go. Oh, it's so soft. It's like it's so soft. See? She stretches. Okay. But she's not ready. Okay? She's not ready. I'm gonna put flour back down here. Get that stickiness away. I need some more flour. Okay. It's so soft. Look, just pillow soft. And she's not sticky, okay, anymore. Now, if you was kneading by hand, first, you know, it would be messy, right? Because when you took the flour and the water, the oil, and mixed it all together with the yeast, it would have been real messy. But eventually, by you doing like this, just flipping it on top of each other till it get well incorporated, until it turns into a ball. Now, how I know she's not really ready, like I could knead her and she would bounce back. See how I'm pressing in? When you press in, it would bounce back up, spring back up. She's not doing that yet, but that's okay. Right? That doesn't matter, because I'm going to sit her to the side for a while. Okay? She's not going to be springy at the end of that anyway, right? So it's almost like you're creating something that you're going to undo. Okay? So that's why it doesn't make any sense to continue to just knead it when the yeast is going to start working and eating and absorbing and changing the texture of this dough to where it's going to be able to stretch. See, right now, if I stretch this out into a pizza, I wouldn't be able to, right? Because she'll stretch and then she'll break, right? That's because the gluten hasn't formed completely, okay? But once you give it that hour, you're going to be able to stretch her out. You give her 2 hours, you're going to be able to stretch her even more. And you give her 8 hours, she gonna taste very good and plus, okay? 1 hour, I'm gonna be honest, an hour she's still gonna taste better than anything you buy in the store. But you give her 3 hours, she gonna taste, you're gonna see significant taste difference. And you give her more time, the fermentation happens and it tastes even better. That's how quick it is to make a piece of dough. Okay, I'm gonna grab some of this piece of dough out of this because there's still some on the side over here. We don't want any of that to go to waste. That's that good deliciousness. Okay, and I hope y'all saw how easy that was to do. Now I'll probably do a part 2 and I'll show y'all how to actually make the dough into a pizza, and I'll show you how to make your own pizza sauce using we're gonna use, let me see, we're gonna use a just plain tomato paste. Okay, or you can use tomato sauce, which I think is a waste of money buying sauce instead of paste, because sauce is just paste with water. You get less paste and flavor when you get the sauce, because I can make a whole can of tomato sauce using just a 4th can of this. You see what I'm saying? So you get cheated when you buy sauce instead of buying paste. Okay. Hey, Lena, how you doing? Lena said, my sister made us some homemade red bean paste buns. Ooh, and it was good. Wait, it was red bean. You know, that, remember, I'm not sure if you was here, Lena, when my neighbor across from me, she's African, and she gave me this thing to taste. She gave me this little patty, and because she was talking about my garden, now it was hard for me to understand her, but I kind of ended up making out what she was saying. And she was talking, when I told her I was growing beans, she said, oh, I have beans. And then she went in and got some beans. And then she told me how she cooked it. And I could not really understand her, but she went in and came out with this little patty. And it was small. It actually looked like a piece of pecan candy to me. I ain't gonna lie, like it was shaped like a pecan candy. And she said, no, this is a bean, something, something, something. And she like, taste it. And I told her I would taste it later, right? Because she ended up tasting one of my tomatoes. And my tomatoes keep coming up missing. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? Them tomatoes are good. But anyway, and it was made from beans. And I took a little, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't taste that thing, girl. Don't get me to lie. Don't get me to lie. But you know, beans is a form of protein, and yeah, you can make pies and all kinds of things with beans. You take them and smash them. Oh, I'm gonna put this let me tell you, let me finish this real quick. Let me show you what I got to do. Okay. So in the bowl in which I had, right, you don't want to make it a mess. That's just some flour that's at the bottom. It's tiny little bits. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray that. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I see it right here. Okay, somebody in the family been using when they get in my kitchen. I'm gonna just take some cooking oil. I'm gonna spray the bottom. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it in there. Okay. I want to spray the bottom and the sides. Okay. This thing is sticky. Come on, get up, baby, get up and get in there. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna turn her because I want that oil on her. And see how she's not sticky anymore because of that. That's why you put the oil so it won't stick to the sides and things like that. And then I'm gonna cover her. Honestly, I'm gonna cover her with just one of my kitchen towels, like that. And I'm gonna put her, I can't put her in the oven right now because the oven is on and it's hot. I would just put her in a nice, just, place out of the light. The light doesn't really affect it, but you just, she don't need to be in light. So I'm gonna set it to the side over here, somewhere, covered up, okay? And then I'm gonna clean this mess up, and bam. And then we'll be back, and I'm gonna give her about a couple of hours. But I will go live when I make the pizza, okay? I will go live. It shouldn't be a big mess, okay? And you can make pizza dough. I promise, listen, just try it, y'all. Try it. If y'all try and make it. It's really simple. The thing that you probably don't have that you would have to get is some yeast. You could buy yeast in these little packets, and it's like $1, and they give you like 3 or 4 of them, right? I think it's a 3-pack for like $1 or something. And it lasts a couple of years, so it's not like you're gonna be wasting $1, okay? And every time you and your family want pizza, you just make sure you have the cheese, pepperonis. I'm gonna show you how to make sauce, so you will grab something like this, but you could buy pizza sauce. Also, we've had the pizza sauce. I'm gonna be honest, this is better, but you can also use, I've used spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce. Yeah, if I had some spaghetti sauce in the refrigerator that needs to be used, I would put that on the pizza. You know, you can use barbecue sauce if you want a barbecue sauce type of pizza. You can use no sauce, okay, and just use meats. Okay, that's what you could do. But this is simple. I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna add some Italian spices and seasonings and some salt and a little bit of sugar, and we're gonna mix this up. Bam, 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 bam. You don't even have to cook it. You don't have to heat it up or nothing. You can just mix that up and then put it on pizza, because remember, it's gonna cook while it's on the pizza in the oven. That's how simple that's gonna be. Okay. So listen, time's about to get hard, baby. About to. They already hard. Okay. You know, I wanted Popeye's chicken today. Popeye, I don't think that's too much to ask. I cooked all week, right? I made some red beans and rice. I made some spaghetti. I made some chicken cacciatore. What else I made? I made chicken and brown gravy with some peas on the side. Like, I've been cooking. I've been feeling well. Look, I'm back on my medication, y'all, and I'm doing good over in this beast over here. Okay? And so I was like, I'm gonna have hubby stop at the Popeyes. We're gonna get us some Popeyes fried chicken today. And man, when I go online, you know, because I was gonna look and tell hubby what I see so he can just pick it up. And I went, and they wanted $42 for 12 pieces of chicken. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. They wanted $42 just for the chicken. Just for the chicken. Just for the chicken. $52 or something like that if I wanted the sides. I was like, oh no, we could go buy 2 real chickens, put them in our backyard, feed them for like at least 6 months and everything, then go back there, wring their necks, chop them up, put them in my stove of hot grease and cook them up for $52 with some sides of red beans. They got me all the way messed up, baby. Oh no. Lena, they got me messed up, baby. They got me messed up. Ooh, Lord, I couldn't believe it. See, I haven't been shopping. Y'all, I've been out of commission really for like 5 years. My mom passed away 5 years ago. It's so hard to believe that it was 5 years ago when I think about it, right? I haven't really done much of nothing that I used to do in 5 years. Hubby been doing the cooking. He been doing the cleaning as much as he cleans. Okay? as much as what they call cleaning, baby. And I've been just sitting online, cussing at people and all kinds of things for 5 years, okay? And like maybe about a month ago, I got back on. I'm getting back on pace. Okay? And I don't go shopping. You know, once in a blue moon, when I go to my doctor's appointment, hubby will take me. We'll hurry up and grab what we grab and get out. But man, like I think it was a month ago, 2 months ago now, we went to the Super Walmart. We usually spend like $300 for the same things that I got. And we spent like $500 something. I was like, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? I started putting stuff back. We had to choose between the pork chops and what it was. We had a ham. We got a whole ham. I had some chops and some ham. And I was like, babe, I sure would like the ham. We could do a lot of things with the ham. You know, you could bake the ham. And then after you bake the ham, you'll have some ham left over for the seasoning of greens and green beans and cabbage, and you know what I mean. So that's a double whammy. And I was like, bam. I said, so we're gonna do the ham because the chops, we're gonna cook that one time. It's gonna be gone, right? So we got the ham, and I ain't gonna lie, that ham was good. Okay, hubby messed up my ham. He cooked it. I was supposed to cook the ham, but I slept in. And when I came down, hubby was cooking my ham. I smelled the ham cooking. I was like, I came down around noon to start cooking the ham. Hubby had my ham in the oven. Ooh, I was mad. Now, let me tell you, it was good. His ham was good, but it wasn't going to be as good as mine because I was going to put some pecans. I was going to brown them pecans up. Ooh, and we were going to drizzle it all over it. Hubby had to do what he did, okay? But he put sugar, brown sugar. So brown sugar on the ham is good too. Okay, so he ain't completely messed it up, but he didn't. It was good. That's all I'm gonna say, cause he might be listening right now. Thank you for making the ham, baby. Thank you. Mom, I'm not complaining. I promise. Anyway, I couldn't believe the price. Check it out. I may go live. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really have no topics. There's a lot of things out there. I stopped looking at everything is just collapsing around us in America. I stopped really trying my best not to pay attention. So I've been in my garden. By the way, the garden look good. Let me show you. Okay. Oh yeah, I have a couple of things that I haven't cooked yet. Okay, this is the cucumber that was out there. That lonely plant only created just one cucumber, y'all. Now it's big, okay? I'm gonna measure it and everything like that. Then I'm gonna cut it up and eat it and tell y'all if she's sweet. And here's some of the beans. Remember, I have a few type of beans out there, but I didn't label them, so I don't know which is what. Now I could tell the green beans, right? I could tell because they get green and long. But these are pinto beans that I grew. And what happened when they look just like a green bean at first, but then the outside area, the pods turn brown. And when they turn brown, you open them up. And I think this is like 3. I think 1, 2. No, this is 4. I think each one had 3 beans in them. I think each pod, and I ended up just snapping off like the 4. Yeah, that's right, 4. Yeah. So that, and how did I grow these beans? Remember, I used these beans here that hubby bought, right? Kidney beans I got growing out there, white beans I have growing out there, and pinto beans I have growing out there. None of them labeled, and then I have green beans growing out there, which is what we call snap beans down south. So I just planted some more of these too and labeled them, and they're over there under my grow light. Because I still might be able to pop out a season, okay, a harvest of everything except the melons. Now I'll show y'all the garden later. Yeah, this world is depressing, Lena. It's bad. I don't even know what's going on. I think we're in an alternate you know what I mean? We're in a whole alternate planet or something going on. What's right is right, what's right is left, and what's left is right. Everything kind of backwards, and it's just too much for me. So I'm gonna get back on my grind. Okay, I'm gonna get back on my grind. I want to measure this, and then I'm gonna cut her open Um, Look how big she is. Now, I think once you get the striping on it, she probably was out there a little too long. This is the only one it produced, y'all, because no beads. And by the time I went out there, the only reason she grew is because, remember, I self-pollinated her. I went out there and pollinated. But the other ones, I see them, they're not moving. It's been, so I have a couple of others that I'm getting ready to plant in the ground soon. And pray that we get some cucumbers, because that's the main thing I wanted, with bell peppers, cucumbers, hot peppers for hubby, and melons. And the okra. I definitely want a lot of okra, which my okra is out there. I'll show y'all tomorrow, okay? I should go out there in a few weeks. If I put on clothes, I'll go out there and show y'all. But my garden looks good. She's looking good. I have honeydew. The melons haven't, you know, what happens with melons, they pop overnight. So I'm going to go out there tonight or tomorrow, and I'm going to fertilize them. They need a lot of fertilizer. But it's been raining, right? And because it's been raining, I don't want to water them, because then I'll overwater them. So I'll look at them tomorrow. And but right now in my tray in-house, I have lettuce growing. What else? I have some beans, onions. Let me show y'all. Give me a second. Let me turn this light on. Give me a second here. Okay. Can y'all see? Oh, I think I have my hand over the camera. Okay. Okay, so these are green onions. Okay, so I just put this in last night. These are beans. They're going to be the white beans. These are green onions, but these green onions came from green onions, right? So I had some onions in there that we bought when we went to Super Walmart like 2 months ago, and I never used them. They dried out. And then I cut the bottoms off, and I put them in dirt. And you could tell where I cut it at. See here? I cut that one there. I cut that one there, and that. And I'm not even joking. I just put this in soil just like Monday. And look at the growth on it. That one, I cut it way down there. You see that little growth on it? Look at this growth on it. Look at that. Yo, you could tell from where I cut it to the new growth. That's in less than like 3 days, 4 days. So anyway, everything in this tray has been here since the earliest Monday. Okay, so some things got here Monday, and then some things got here yesterday. Now what I did, I did put the seeds in remember how I showed y'all how I put it in a napkin? I put the seeds in a napkin, but I didn't keep it in a napkin very long. I only kept it in a napkin until I saw a little tail on it, just the tiniest tail. Once I saw the tiniest tail on it, I took them and I put them in some soil. And then I have this light on at night. And the melons, that's a melon. See, I said melon. Those are melons. These are red cherry tomatoes. These are cucumbers that I just put in yesterday. And look, they're popping already. These are beans. I put those in yesterday. I put these in Monday, right? And I put these beans in yesterday. And I put this more green onions from seed in this tray. And there I put some peppers over there. So I have more cucumbers, beans, bell peppers, lettuce. So as y'all can see, I labeled heavily this time. Okay. I even have some peppermint growing. Oh, and here is my, these are my yams, sweet potatoes, and I need to go plant them so they'll grow, okay? Remember, I had it on a yam like this. They grew. This is what grew. And then you take these and plant them in soil, and the roots turn into yams, okay? And I have some, let's see over here. I have some, so you can see the label still on this one. So when I cut remember I said I cut them, right? And then at the top, I said, well, let me see if I cut off the portion that I cut off from the top. Let me see if I put them in water and if they'll get roots. So see, I was hoping that if I put this in the water, that it will root up. But it's not. It's growing from the bottom. I never seen anything like that before in my life. You see that? So I set them in a little water, hoping that they'll root, but they're not rooting. They're growing. See, this is one where I cut from. See how the roots are there? I put it in some water, and then I put it in dirt. Now, because I don't have any spots left, I just stuck that one here. Okay, but I need to make sure it stays in water. But yes, I just put this in yesterday. I just did this yesterday, and look at that. And it's growing from the bottom. I did not expect that to happen. I did not. I thought maybe it'll make some roots. But I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to see what it does. Okay, so, look. My gardener took over my living room. Yeah, you see how fast that's growing? So, if y'all buy green onion, when you cut, because you know we don't use the bottom portion, right? The roots. Just cut it just a little bit above that root area. And then get you some water. You don't even have to put them in soil. Get you some water and put the roots in water and it'll sprout out. Now somebody say it grows within 7 days. I kind of believe them because look how fast this is. But yeah, it's never gonna be as thick as the original, but it will grow tall. And every 7 days or whatever days when they get as much as you need, just clip them off and cook with them. Okay. So I'm gonna do that test, that experiment for y'all, and I'll let y'all know how that work out. Okay. These things growing fast in regular water. Okay. Now I grew lettuce 1 year, and the lettuce was beautiful, but I didn't know much about growing lettuce. Look, the lettuce was out there looking pretty, and I was waiting for them to get big. And then it got real hot, and then I went out there one day, and it was all brown. So I learned that lettuce don't like hot weather. So when I did start it in like March, by the time July hit, it ruined my whole thing of lettuce. So I learned, right? I learned from that experience. So I'm just starting the lettuce now, and it should be large enough to go outside by the time it starts cooling down. It does not like anything in the 90s. It really prefers the 70s and even the 60s. You could grow lettuce in the winter months. Lettuce can grow all winter. But you do want it to be grown before winter, right? You want it to be kind of a certain size, fully mature before the frost come. Because by the time it get that cold, it got less daylight, and also it will grow slower. But you can have it out there all winter. And I'm looking for cabbage. I have to do some cabbage. We haven't seen any cabbage yet that I want. Okay. I should have got them offline, but I didn't. Oh, let me show y'all. Let me see if we can look out the window. And y'all can see. Let me see y'all. See the garden out there? That's the okra. You see the okra? Okra. All my okra is far this way. And then I got beans. And then let's go look at the front real quick. Hold up. Y'all, I don't have on no clothes, so I can't go outside, okay? I can't go out there. I might be able to open the door. Let me see if the neighbors. Oh no, the neighbors look. Her door is open. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. I don't have on no clothes. Let me see. I'm gonna open this door. Oh look, I don't have on no clothes, y'all. Okay, so that melon is. You see all them flowers? You probably can't. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm gonna show y'all them. That's where the melon's gonna be. Watermelon. Look, all them green beans. You see them green beans on there? And the tomatoes are coming in the green. I see my thyme in that bag. See that black bag? Uh-oh, here she come. Here she come. Hold on. Look, I see her at the window. I saw, oh, look at that big dog. They got a big dog. I don't have no clothes. I do have on the robe, but Y'all, my belly done got big, girl. Sticking out the front of the robe, girl. But I'm about to get on her exercise time. Okay? Anyway. It's a small, little, nice little garden, Lena. And I show y'all so y'all can, if y'all want to, there's some things you could really grow. If y'all, I know some of y'all on y'all health kick, right? Y'all eat salads. That's the easiest thing to grow. You could grow that all year. Inside your house, for real. Okay? Inside your living room, get a little pot. Just like you grow a plant, you could grow a head of lettuce. Indoors. And when you need some lettuce, you go over there and you cut a little lettuce off. And, you know what I mean? You don't need the whole head of lettuce, right? Because what you need a whole head of lettuce at one time for. If you're growing it, you go get the couple of leaves off that you need for that moment or that day, for that salad, for that sandwich. And so you let that head of lettuce just grow and grow. And you take off. Just like that green onion. And the peppermint that I'm growing, I'm doing that for herbalist type of thing. Because I want to make a few things. I want to learn how to dry them out. I think we have a sister here who she does that kind of stuff. She dries them out, and I want to make this mask, eye mask, and put some what is it called? Them purple flowers. Lilac? No. Is it called lilac? No. I have some what is it called? I have some of the lavender. I want to put some lavender in it. And a few things that they say is good for y'all young people. That y'all all into this health kick and for your facial mask and all that kind of stuff. I said, well, shit, I'ma jump in. I'm jumping in. Lena, I'm jumping in. Okay. Psh. Gotta stop. Yeah, I gotta stop thinking like an old woman. I gotta start thinking like a teenager or somebody. I don't even know. Lavender does smell good. And I went outside the other day. I put lavender on because lavender keep away the mosquitoes. So, okay, so what I've been doing is I've been spraying myself with the mosquito spray. And then I've been putting the lavender kind of on this towel and wrapping it around my neck. And I was being safe, right? The mosquitoes only bite me on my hand if I forget to spray. Everything was good. So yesterday, was it yesterday? A couple of days ago, I decided, well, dang. Because that mosquito spray, that stuff, I think I'm allergic to it. Because I keep scratching. Even, like, yeah, I think I'm allergic to that mosquito stuff. Anyway, so I said, well, let me try just the lavender by itself. So I put lavender on a towel, and I wiped myself down with it. Right? I wiped it. It was on my clothes. I put it on a little bit on my legs and things. And I went out there. Why? Look, I'm thinking the lavender is going to keep the mosquitoes away. They told me up. I had a big bite on my hand. I don't know why they love my hands. They love my hands. So I did some research. Found out they like old blood, okay? They don't eat nobody else in this house but me. Mosquitoes just be biting. I be like, oh my God, the mosquitoes in here. I be like, no, nothing biting y'all. They like, no. I'm like, these mosquitoes biting me. Okay, I have bruises all over my body from mosquito bites. I'm not even joking, like big bruises. Well, they done bit me. That's why I'm not outside right now. Okay, I would be out in that garden almost every day. But I know I got to go out there and battle the mosquitoes. Okay? And I don't feel like it. So I'm going to have to go out there tomorrow. I'm sorry. Because I'm out there, hubby spray me. Isn't it the weekend? Yeah, I think he's off this weekend. I don't know. I have some sewing to do. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Y'all, I may go live. If y'all listen, I told y'all, if y'all hit me up with a topic, That's all you can do is either call or text me, email me, say, hey, Bomb, here go the link. Let's talk about this. And I will go live. But I don't have the strength to be searching for no topics. I'm tired of beating up on the dumbass men. They dumb as hell. Okay? I was over there I don't even want to review when I'm in. And then Jay Prince did something the other day. I was going to go live on it, but I know he was going to not like me no more. Okay? Because that was ridiculous. I don't know if you saw it, Maina. What he did, girl, what Jay Prince did the other day could end him up in jail. It was so ridiculous that I was like, what in the hell? Like, what is... You heard of girl. Like, so I I don't really watch anybody unless I'm active in the chat. You know what I mean? Y'all would know I'm there if I'm there. So I've been, if I look at YouTube, I'm always either looking at sewing. Really, I'm getting heavily into quilting. And I have this little knit kit that I bought, and I was thinking about getting back into not knitting, I'm sorry, crocheting. Right after I bought this little crochet kit, and I said I was going to, get back into that. See, because I paid somebody years ago to teach me how to crochet. And once she taught me, it was real quick. And then I haven't crocheted since. So I don't even know. I wouldn't even call myself a crocheter because, I got to remember if I can remember that stuff. I don't even crochet for maybe a month. And that's it. I never made anything. You know what I mean? I made a piece that was maybe about 12 inches wide and maybe less than 20 inches long. So like once I realized I had it, I was like, okay. And then I put the piece away and all my knitting stuff, crocheting stuff. I'm sorry, knitting and crocheting is a little different. Anyway, so I bought a little kit when I was at Hobby Lobby. I bought a little kit. It was cheap as hell, and so I said I was gonna figure that out. But anyway, long story short, I was going through YouTube, and when you hit the home page, it was on my TV. I saw him there, so I guess it showed who was live, who I'm subscribed to. And he was there, and he was on the ground. And I was like, what the hell happened? So I clicked in, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's talking about help. But he keep lifting his neck to look at the camera. I'm like, what the hell happened? So, girl, I rewind. I rewind to see what happened. And girl, I saw him go in the freezer. You know how you go to buy a drink? He opened that up, got him a drink. I don't know if it was a soda, water, I don't know what it was. He opened it up and he started saying, I'm about to get a lick, y'all. I'm about to get a lick. I was like, you about to get a what? And then all of a sudden he goes, oh! And then he falls. And the way he fell, girl, it was all soft and shit. And he hits the ground. So I'm thinking, what the hell? So I'm thinking, okay, he joking. It's a prank. And then all of a sudden I see a woman come and say, you okay? He said, nah, I'm hurt. I fell. And then he stayed there. And then the ambulance come. Girl, he got in the ambulance and went all the way to the hospital. And I'm in the chat talking about, oh, this is bad. I'm like, this is bad. You got to stop this. He didn't let it go too far. That ambulance ride gonna be about $1,000. Then he started then the doctor came in there and talked to him, wanted to do some testing, he's like, how much they gonna cost? Girl, you making another blanket? Would you crochet? You said, ooh, yes. Lena, I didn't know you crochet. I need to, I started to look at a video. I'm gonna get the kit out. It's a small kit. It's like to make a keychain. You may have seen it. It's like a little kit. It only cost me like $2 or something like that. It came with this little tiny crochet hook. It came with the yarn and everything needed. But they had some stuff in there I ain't never seen in my life, right? It was like, I don't know what kind of kit this is. It had some like little white little loop. I don't even know. It had some stuff in there I had never ever seen. So I was like, well, maybe, you know, it has been like 30 years since I crocheted anything. I only did it for like a month. And I don't even think I did it for a whole month. But I know 1 month that year, ever in life, is the only time I crocheted. When I went to her house. She ain't charging me much. I went to her house and she taught me how to do it. It didn't take no time. I only worked on it for like 1 day, 2 days, maybe, you know, for a few hours, or not even a few hours, to be honest. I wasn't really into it because it's repetitive, you know, it's repetitive. I was young. I was only like 19 years old. I would make my dad a little Stitch plush toy. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit down and figure it out. So anyway, that's how I ended up seeing him on my TV, and that man crazy. It's something. I don't know, Jay Prince, if you're listening, which I don't think you subscribe to this channel. My boy, my boy. I don't know where I get that from, but that was crazy work right there. That was crazy. That was almost police knocking at your door crate. And girl, did you know he went to his job, what they call it? Not an interview. Orientation, girl. He went to his job orientation with the damn kids, girl. And I don't understand, because he could get free daycare. He can get free daycare. Like, daycare is absolutely free. But I guess because it don't come with no money, no food stamp, you know, nothing like that, he won't go take advantage of it. If it's not nothing that he getting like this, he not gonna go take advantage. Them kids need to be in daycare. Girl, he took them kids to his orientation. Now, as far as you know, I'm older, y'all. I understand lots of things to change since I've had a job. I get it. But orientation used to be like your first day, right? Because every orientation I ever had, I got paid for. They say, hey, orientation starts on this day. And some jobs, it was just 1 day of orientation. That's when you fill out all your paperwork and shit. And then they teach you what you need to learn. Sometimes orientation was 1 day. Sometimes it could have been several days. It could have been a couple of weeks, depending on the job and what all you had to learn. So I never heard of an orientation being where you show up and then leave right away. So I don't know. Maybe they changed it. Is that what happened? Because I ain't never had an orientation that I didn't get paid for, which means I already got the job. And it's usually, girl, who knows? I don't know. I have no idea. He has family. I don't know why they not, you know. But he don't listen to nobody, you know. They'll tell him, everybody tell him, and then he gonna do it the way he want to do it. And all I keep saying is, hey, he grown. Ain't nothing. I can only give him, you know, I could tell him, hey, this is wrong. Hey, this is, you know. Then I always say, but, you know, I don't want you to get mad at me for telling you. I'm just saying, but you grown man, you gonna do it how you want to do it. I ain't nothing I could do. Anyway, let me go. Thank y'all for watching. Last week I did say I was gonna go live on Friday, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to eat some of this pizza. I may be back to show y'all how to make the pizza later. I hope y'all like the beginning of the video where y'all get you some yeast, because I know y'all got flour. I know y'all got some sugar. Y'all got some water, and yeah, and some oil. It could be vegetable oil. I didn't have any vegetable oil, but I always use vegetable oil. I'm gonna be honest. I use the cheapest oil when I make the pizza dough, right? But when I make the pizza, if I want to put buttery flavor, then I'll put the butter like in this area right here. Like, you know, but you don't have to do all that, because this pizza dough is so good. You don't need to add. Now this is a small pizza. Y'all see how small it is? That's because of the way I did it. I did it in a deep dish, but I didn't make a deep dish pizza. And because of that, my deep dishes is only, let me show, let me move this out the way. My deep dish is my cast iron skillet, and so I pre-cooked it. And because it's not a deep dish, because if it was a deep dish, it would have been longer, you know. It would have came out a little farther. But, and then I didn't have any boards to put it on. But I do have some boards. Now, look. I have a couple of boards. So when I do the pizza tonight, I'm going to put it on the board to stiffen the bottom. So I could put them in the freezer. But this one wasn't done like that. It was just wrapped with saran wrap. And because it was so soft at the bottom, that's why it ended up being so small. Because I ain't have nothing to really kind of brace it. The larger it got, it was harder to brace, you know what I mean? So I kept some of Leaky's cardboard from his birthday gift that his daddy got him. Anyway, y'all, I'm gone. I'm rambling. Yeah, I'm ready to eat some of that. Hubby went to sleep. And this, look, that's just a snack. I had made 5 of those. I made 5 of those, and that was the smallest one. So the others was a little bigger. But the one I'm going to do today, I'm not going to do it in the skillet, okay? I'm going to do it on a pizza pan itself. And so whether I do it tonight or tomorrow, I will record it. If y'all got any topics, y'all email me or call me. And say, hey, Bob, I got a topic. You ain't got to talk to me. You can just leave a message or whatever. Say, I got a topic. Leave me the link to whatever you want me to watch or us to review. There's a lot of things I saw that we could review, but the problem is I ain't got time. the political shit, you know, I watched, there was a black woman over there on, what's the name of that channel? You know where they do the debates? They have one person against a lot of people. She was so good. I think she's a liberal. No, she wasn't considered herself a liberal. What did she consider herself? She considered herself a something against the Republicans or MAGA. I call them MAGA bullshitters, but MAGA, okay? And they all was black, girl. Everybody was black. It was the black liberal against black Republicans. And I'ma tell you, everybody was black, and it was sad. It was sad. It broke my heart. I wanted to cry. I was over there by DJ Genesis the other day, and girl, I just wanted to cry. I'm talking, this black man came up there. You know what he said, girl? He said, yeah, well, black women stupid because they got with white women. And what he said was, black men and women had the right to vote before white women. And I said, what? Yeah. I said, no, dude, that's not right. Yeah, we had the right to vote before white women, and that's why they came to you black women and got you to go with them, be feminists, so they can have the right to vote too. I said, no, that's not right. I said, black men had the right to vote. I said, but black women didn't have the right to vote. We got the right to vote with the white women. When the women got the right to vote. No, that's not true. We had the right to vote before the white woman. I was like, that is crazy work. I said this, and he was serious. Now, this is the thing that pissed me off about DJ Genesis. She heard what he said, but then she tried to rework. Because I'm telling him he's wrong, right? Then she says, well, Bob, he said this. And he said, no, I didn't say that. I said, girl, I don't know why you lying for these men. And I'm glad that he had at least enough integrity to say what he said, because he meant what he said. He was standing 10 toes down on his scrap. He was standing on business with that bull crap. And because that's what these men have been saying, that black women were stupid because we got with feminists to help them vote. So in his mind, he thinks that we was able to vote, and the white woman come to us to get us to help them to be able to vote too. And I'm like, no. First of all, when you say that they came to black women. That's because we all women and we all wanted the right to vote. So women got the right to vote at the same time. All women, not just white women, not just black women, women. But he stood on it. And then he started talking about 3/5. Yeah, 3/5 was able to vote. We was only 3/5 of a person. And I was like, that has nothing to do with vote. He said, yes, it is. He said, we was able to vote. I said, dude, we were slaves. How would we be able to vote? Well, they was able to vote. We didn't get to vote, but we was able to vote. I said, well, how were we able to vote and not able to vote? He said, the South used us, and so 3/5 of a person, we could vote. I said, no, that had nothing to do with voting. He swears up and down that has something to do with voting. I said, no. I said that has to do with the population. How they was able to get, get power from their states, because the southern states had more slaves in areas than they had of anybody, right? One person could have like 100 slaves, depending on where you were. Girl, I don't even know. Girl, these black men, they grab anything and they listen and then they think they know something. I almost cried on that panel. And he was like, you ain't got to get so serious. I said, dude, I'm not serious. I said, I'm saddened. I'm sad that y'all be in your 30s and 40s saying this stuff. I say it's pitiful. It's pitiful. Okay? It's sad. Anyway, I think Sharon was supposed to go live at 5. Now that I think about it. I don't know if he did or not, but I'll check. Anyway, I'll see you later, Lena, and everybody else who's watching. Hit the thumbs up. I'll be back with the pizza thing later. I'm over here rambling and all that good old crap for no reason. Showing y'all a cucumber. I'm proud of this cucumber, but I'm not proud of that cucumber plant, okay? Because this is the only cucumber that came from that whole plant. This is the only one. I'm going to dig her up and put something else there. I'm going to put another cucumber plant there. I still have time, okay? Based on the cucumbers, they can be here in like somewhere between 45 and 55 days. Okay, so I still have time to grow some cucumbers. I just got to self-pollinate them because I don't have no bees. Okay, at least I know now though. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Bye, Lena. Bye, everybody. I got to go, baby. Y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to go out of